This video was made possible by Patreon and by the contributions of viewers like you. Thank you. Framed in a visual novel-esque interface with a window into an explorable 3D world, All Our Ages follows Yuto, who enters the memories of his estranged father, and in it finds a collage of moments and spaces conjured by the will of a dying man. A profound mood saturates each scene, and the sheer confidence of the art direction, from the camera work to the construction of each space, left me audibly impressed with each new area that I witnessed. Sean Hantani carries on the same surrealist sensibilities from his work on Anodyne and even The Ocean, but here it works in concert with a PSX-style early 3D aesthetic. And the impressionistic approach to 3D here is awesome. The fog and shimmering edges of the alias polygons reinforces the dreamlike state of the memory world. The low poly environments and low resolution textures evoke the feeling of a grander space without getting caught up in every detail. The hard work of communicating characters and mannerisms is handled effectively through prose. The visual novel style framework handles dialogue and description of more complex actions, letting iconographic forms stand in for characters within the 3D space. The interactions in these spaces are mostly limited to talk and observation, but it doesn't make them feel any less important. Each space sets a tone and mood, communicating a lot through their use of light, color, and architecture. And there's some wonderfully surreal moments at play here, and a few tricks of light and shadow that I won't spoil. The architecture itself has suggestions of SMT Nocturne's hospitals and subways, as well as some recognizable but strange takes on Chicago's own architectural history. Each feels distinct and evocative, with small touches like the pulsating floors of the club really selling the mood. The camera work shows an understanding of how important the frame of an image is. It's as important to establishing these places and moods as any other part of the world. And the walks between each scene give me time to ruminate on the previous events, and build a connected logic for disconnected worlds. It's a logic of memory, of dreams, tied together by a personal history with them. And it's the visual artifacts and lack of detail that really make this dreamlike aesthetic work. For all the worship of pristine, high-resolution visuals, there's a harshness to seeing art rendered in such obsessive detail. The vagueness of low resolutions allows us to insert our own details, while higher resolutions demand those details already be filled in. There's no space for us in them, for our interpretation, when it's all rendered so explicitly. And that space for interpretation is what helps All Our Ages feel personal to me. I live in the same city as Yuto, and share a sense of the same East Asian diaspora. There's a scene early on where Yuto has to navigate a station, and despite being surrounded by other Japanese people, none of them can understand him because he doesn't speak Japanese. It speaks to the alienation and frustration that I feel not knowing the same language as my parents. At the same time, AOA makes clear that Asian is an identity so broad there's little in common between the people of the continent. Yuto doesn't look like me, not really, and his job as a hedge fund analyst marks him as someone beyond my class, privileged in ways that I can never really understand. But despite that, we yearn to find somewhere, some place in common with others, to find an identity that can tie us together when the world so often splits us apart. AOA doesn't offer any comfort on that front. It leaves me with more questions than answers. It introduces people and situations and leaves them unresolved. Like Yuto, I felt uneasy by the end of it, unsatisfied. But maybe it's better that way? Maybe it gives me space to find my own interpretation and my own answers. Hey, if you like this video, do give All Our Ages a try. It's free on itch.io and Steam, and there's plenty of surreal vibes that I've intentionally left out so you can see them for yourself. It's also got some great, moody music and runs under 2 hours, so it can be finished in a session or two. And if you want to support me, check out my Patreon or buy me a coffee, and check out some of my other work. Most relevant to this conversation is my story on Waypoint, on the beauty of lo-fi aesthetics and how games can use them to achieve things that hyperrealism can't. And if you're looking for some more surrealism, check out my video on Future Unfolding's Dream Logic, or my video on Let's Catch, a catch simulator with social links? Brought to you by Yuji Naka, creator of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I guess that's pretty weird. That's all for now. Peace.